let's get started. Meanwhile, more people will be joining, but don't waste any time. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining the Startup Club AI Investment Conference. I'm Batuan, and I'll be the host today. Just a few words about Startup Club. We are a global entrepreneur community, so we connect startups with investors through these industry-specific pitch night and investment conferences for more than 6 years now, like in health tech, fintech, B2 tech, green tech, and it goes like that. And we also offer some other services for startups around fundraising, pitch deck, and valuation. And today we invited 6 amazing presenters, and I'm sharing screen so that you can take a look at them as I'm speaking. They are all in different fields such as social media tech, AGI, AI in marketing, and many more. Each company will do 6-minute presentation that will be followed by a 7-minute Q&A. So each company will have about 13 minutes around. And we are planning that event will finish at 7:40 European time and 1:40 Eastern time. And there will be no other agenda rather than pitches and after pitch discussions for the Q&A for the advisory panel. And we work with 4 investors for the panel from 360 Capital, Emerging Ventures Capital, Foundry Ventures, and Plug and Play Tech Centers. And I will ask advisory board members to introduce themselves. But first of all, thanks so much for joining and being with us today. Giovanni, would you like to introduce yourself? But I think right now you can't unmute yourself, so let me just change the
No,
setting.
thank you very much.
Oh, you did it. Okay, cool.
Thank you very much for the invitation and for the organization. I'm an investor since 2 years with the team of 360 Capital. I mainly focus on deep tech, but the fund also invests in climate tech and digital. We are a Italo-French VC investing throughout all Europe since 1997. A little bit more than 600 million of asset under management, which we invest from pre-seed to Series B in Italy, France, and the rest of Europe.
Great. Thanks so much, Giovanni. David, would you please introduce yourself as well?
Hello, this is David Mandel. I'm managing partner at Emerging Ventures Capital. We're a venture capital firm based in Los Angeles, California, investing in B2B tech startups. We are seed stage investors, investing in capital efficient B2B tech startups that are using emerging technologies to solve business challenges.
Great. Thanks so much, David. Anders, how about you?
Yes, thanks. Really happy to be here. Thanks a lot for the invitation. So I'm the founding partner of Foundry Ventures. We're a pre-seed only venture capital company up in Stockholm, Sweden. Investing primarily in the new Nordics as well as Northern Europe. We're only investing in our definition of AI native companies, which means that you're building a truly AI native product, but equally important, you're actually planning to build your company AI natively as well. So we think there's a lot of value to be created in that intersection. So that's us.
Great. Thanks so much, Anders. Gonzalo?
Yeah, hello. I'm Gonzalo. First, thanks to the Startup Club and to all the startups participating. A bit about myself. I'm a VC investor at Plug and Play. And for those who might not know PNP, we try to distinguish from the typical VC as first, we are investors. We are one of the most active investors in the Bay Area with plus 250 investments a year. We invest from pre-seed to Series A with checks up to 2.5 mil. But what makes this fund unique is that the LPs are indeed our corporate partners, and this is quite connected to our second business arm. We are also a corporate innovation platform. We partner with plus 500 corporations to introduce them to top-tier startups. I have the focus on fintech, insurtech, and B2B solutions. And just to mention some corporations we're working with, I'm working with State Farm, US Bank, NTT Data, and some others. The main value that we try to provide to our portfolio is precisely this active exposure to our corporate network. And that's basically our approach at Plug and Play.
Great. Thanks so much, Gonzalo. All right, now we can go to the first page. But by the way, everyone in the audience, please feel free to introduce yourself by using chat. And after presentation, there will be Q&A with the advisory panel, as mentioned. But you can also interact with the presenters, also using chat, ask your question or make your comment. So prefer to do that as well. First company is Marqea. Sandra, founder of the company, will share the opportunity with us. Sandra, feel free to share your screen and go ahead with the presentation.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. 1 second. Oh, I'm not able to share here. 1 second, please.
It's okay. Let me check the. Okay. In the settings now, you should be able to share your screen.
Not letting me. One check here. I have to maybe join again.
Maybe do that. So this happens. So let's wait a few minutes. Not few minutes, 5 seconds, I'm sure. Otherwise, if it's okay, we can start with this, second presenters, maybe, but let's wait for a while. All right, Sandra, welcome back. Let's try again. How about now, Sandra? Now you are muted.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to share your screen right now?
Yes,
Okay.
should work now.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Good.
Start when you're ready.
Cool. So then I start. Super happy to be here today. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Sandra, the CEO and co-founder of Marqea. Can you maybe mute yourself? But I think I hear myself.
I'm muted, but I think it's not me. I think you joined with maybe by through computer, I guess. So you double join, I guess. Let me remove one of you if I can.
Maybe now it's better.
Now, okay, yes. Let's
Yes,
continue.
great. Okay, so good. Then I start the presentation. At Marqea, we are building an AI CMO. That means we are automating everything from marketing strategy to marketing execution. Why are we doing this? Like, I ask myself the question, what if every company could afford a chief marketing officer available 24/7, having all the data and all the ideas ever there in one place? So we saw that up to 60% of marketing budgets are wasted due to inefficiencies, pure strategy, and guesswork, especially since digitalization is here and also like AI. Access to the tools is like super easy. Everybody can just launch a Google Ads campaign, but sometimes this is not even the right thing to do. So we help to reduce the marketing budget that's lost by getting them access to a very powerful CMO brain. That means with Marqea, you can access knowledge of real marketing experts, data from the past. I was running a marketing agency for 5 years before. We collected all the data and feeding this into the model in like seconds. That means it's like super easy to have marketing strategy audits and stuff within seconds instead of weeks, paying an agency or some marketing person thousands of euros. How exactly do we do that? We are building a smart command and execution center. So Marqea is actually able, by just entering the email address of the user, to come up with a strategy, interact on the strategy, like leading the discussion, like you use ChatGPT, for example, but our chat is actually leading the conversation. So that means it's not just like you asking questions, it's actually Marqea guiding you through the process. We come up with a full marketing audit. Like individual data is connectable. We are already talking to bigger companies, how we could integrate their data, for example, media houses or agencies. We give full geo, SEO, SEA, LinkedIn integrations and analysis. we roast the content. That's actually one of the most loved features. So you can upload your content and Marqea will roast it and give you the perspective of a very critical client or critical user. And then, of course, we do the tracking, which is one of the biggest assets we have, because if we connect all the different channels in the marketing setup, all the data is coming back to Marqea. That means the AI agents will learn over time what actually worked well and what didn't work, and also can interpret the results in terms of why it didn't work or why it worked. To make this a little bit more tangible, how this looks in real life, I used the Startup Club website to actually run the analysis. So, Batu, maybe some interesting insights for you there.
Sure.
So from the start, you see actually like the company overview and the strategy analysis. So we come up with like ICP, value prop, positioning, target KPIs, and target countries. This is only by reading out the information of the website, the connected social channels and stuff. So this is what you get after a few seconds by entering the email address on our website. This is already included in the free version, so everybody can get access to this. And then we go into the audit phase, which means we actually look at the different aspects I explained before. Here you see the first overview. For example, we look at the SEO performance, geo visibility, visual audit of the website, and content overview. Meaning like content overview on the website, and give scores. So the user sees immediately where they have to pay attention or like what they can ignore because it's already good. Once you have like the audit, you can dive deeper into the different measures. See, for example, here on SEO, you actually see the overall score now for the Startup Club is 15, so that's not too great actually, mainly due to like inconsistent hierarchy titles and stuff. So you see here on the second visual, like already very nailed down improvements for the website. So for us, it's very important to give tangible input and not just like generic stuff. So you can actually sit down and execute the stuff that's in here. Same for the website then. Here, for example, we see the website provides some trust attributes, but there are some hidden gems. So by, for example, here it says by posting like more numbers or put them more prominent into the website could increase the trust factor. So super hands-on stuff. Once you went through all the different measures, you can, as a user, decide what you want to execute, and it puts everything into a measure planning and like says then step by step what you have to do to actually increase like your visibility, the performance, or whatever is the KPI that the tool came up. You can also override the KPI, of course, if the tool didn't get it right. How do we actually do that in the background? It's multi-agent model. So we trained like 9 different sub-agents on the different topics. And there's like one main AI CMO brain that collects all the data. How we differentiate from other models is because we have a huge database of unique data that like belongs to us. That's from the agency work I did before, to really have marketing expert knowledge and not just like generic open AI knowledge in there. We are also working together with universities in Switzerland to have more academic content to really hit the nail. Then the addressable market is quite huge. I mean, we all know like AI is growing like crazy, especially in marketing.
By the way, time is almost up, so maybe you could speed up a bit.
I know. I'm also almost done. So huge addressable market. Here to highlight in terms of revenue, we are already at the 20K MRR. We only started in August, so super stable user base and growth rates. When we look at the competitors, that's also what I said before, we are not just like a tool that's used, but we are a tool that leads the conversations and comes up with like suggestions and stuff and based on real data. I will skip the roadmap in terms of time. At the moment, we are looking for 1.5 million pre-seed to build and grow the company. The team behind is quite strong and very experienced. Besides me, it's Karin. She has very huge experience in marketing leadership in the B2B industries. Andre, the CTO, just sold his previous Martech company in Germany and is now joining us as the CTO. And Andy is our go-to-market advisor. He's a serial entrepreneur and go-to-market specialist.
Thank you, Sandra, for the great pitch and great insight for the Startup Club. Maybe we should discuss this, later, more in detail privately. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
David, would you like to start? What do you think? Do you have any comments or questions?
So, questions about your traction so far. You talk about, obviously, the market's huge. It's also a super competitive space. You see literally hundreds of, AI startups trying to, be CMOs and take over that space. What's your traction and what's your initial ICP?
Yeah, so the traction at the moment is 20K MRR. As I said, we started in August only. So over the past 5 months, we were able to already get up to like 20K monthly revenue. ICP, actually, we started first with like smaller companies, startups, SMEs, because that's also where my network is. So we started there, and it was super easy to access the clients. So most of the growth we already have is coming from like the smaller companies, but now we are also getting more and more inbound leads from bigger companies like agencies or even bigger brands that are not like super focused on marketing yet, like not the ones that have like extensive marketing teams, but they see, okay, a tool like this could really improve the quality.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Gonzalo, about you?
Yeah, I would love to know a little bit more about the go-to-market strategy. So you were mentioning that you are starting with these small startups. How are you planning to transition towards the big enterprises? And also, how many users could you estimate that would be using this kind of solution within a big enterprise?
Yeah, within a big enterprise, I mean, that could be that the whole marketing team could use it. Then maybe it's like up to 20 or even 30 sub-users for one company. And like most likely, we will then also reduce the FTEs in the team, which is like quite feasible with the solution we have. Or maybe first step, reduce the external costs because you don't need agency work anymore. What I showed usually is done by an agency, costing between 10 or 30K, depending on the agency you work with. And in terms of go-to-market strategy, we're quite good in marketing ourselves because we were running an agency before. So we already have a quite strong performance marketing setup, which is giving us daily leads and subscribers on the tool, like from the smaller companies. And for the bigger go-to-market, like bigger clients go-to-market, I'm now talking to some pilot clients like Eco Shoes in Germany or Reverse media platform in Mexico. They're super interested to roll it out. And once we have like 1-2 showcases with bigger companies, we will do B2B sales outreach for this. If we see this is a way to go, I mean, it's always, you also know, like important to focus and not like work on too many places at the same time. So we are like, figuring out which way to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anders, any question from your side?
Thanks a lot. Good pitch. So typically one of the challenges, right, in terms of building an AI native product is to differentiate towards all these competitors that, for example, David mentioned. And ideally want to get into a bit of a flywheel, right, where you get permission from the customers to use their data to train your model better, and then use the fact that your sort of model and product get better into sort of a go-to-market and scaling motion, right? What's your perspective on sort of getting that flywheel going so you can, to some extent, get a velocity that is hard to catch up to for competitors?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, with every case that's on our solution, we learn. The like there is one CMO brain per client, like from a tech perspective now. So it learns for the client itself. And then there is like the main brain where the like data is coming from for all the clients that learns on like the neutralized data. So for the smaller clients, this is an added value, and they also are chill about this. What we see, like with the bigger ones, they are not so happy about it because they don't want to like that we learn on their data, so other competitors can benefit from this. So we are actually right now discussing this topic with one of the bigger leads on how we can solve this, because in the end, the model needs to learn. We just need to like find a solution that's like acceptable for the bigger brands, because like this is a common topic also, like all the AI tools learn on how we use it. So this is like, it gets a topic once you talk about customized solutions, but this is an overall thing. So we are trying to find a solution that we can still learn from it and improve the product step by step.
Okay.
Did they answer your question? Like,
yeah, to some extent. It's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
And typically you need to do like a tiered version of the product, and then you can, you know, pay a little, but then you need to share the data, or pay more, and then you have your data private or something. But okay, I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, we're like, this is exactly what we are discussing now with the bigger clients. And we say like, yeah, but then you can't just have a subscription for 300 a month or whatever. Then you have to pay us more because we can't benefit from your data. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Sandra. Thank you, all the advisors, for contribution. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And now we can move to the second company, second presentation for today, SpaceLink. Michael Sperling will share the opportunity with us. Michael, feel free to share your screen and start when you are ready. Michael, are you there?
Right.
And
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
hear me?
I'm
Okay.
here. I'm here. Just preparing. Okay. So first, thanks ever so much, Batuan, and sorry, hello everyone. So as we all know, social media is a great invention. It started off as a wonderful thing, connecting people from near and far. There's no denying that it's been a real game changer in how we all interact with the world around us. But over the years, a very dark and toxic side emerged, and most of us have been affected by its toxicity, either directly or indirectly affecting people near and dear to us. Having witnessed firsthand myself the negative impact that social media can have on its users, and particularly the young and vulnerable, creating a safe and inclusive space has long been a matter very close and dear to my heart. So when the chance came up to co-found SpaceLink, I saw it as an opportunity, not only to build an exciting business, but also to, at the very least, have a real go at fixing our broken social media ecosystem and making a significant and meaningful difference to society. So as this event, of course, is focused on AI tech, let me just say a few words on topic. So we all know that there are concerns held by many people around the subject of AI, whether be it on safety, ethics, or its large carbon footprint. But there's no denying that it's a really great and amazing invention, both AI and machine learning. And if used for the good, correctly and safely, can contribute immensely to society. Now, SpaceLink totally champions and embraces this amazing technology, seeking to safely and ethically leverage it to its maximum for moderation and fact-checking, blocking muted words, for deep fake and behavioral bots detection, all in order to protect users' safety and interests. AI is also being a crucial part in our immersive three-dimensional explore experience, which is part of SpaceLink, one of SpaceLink's key features for a cluster assignment of content. And we're also using Gen AI to help users create new content, so enhancing the user's experience. However, we'll always still endeavor or strive to minimize, of course, our AI carbon footprint as best we possibly can. Now, at this point, normally, we move on to our comprehensive PowerPoint presentation, which I very much look forward to presenting to each of you during one-to-one calls. But it was just not quite possible to do it properly in the short time today. So instead, what I have for you, or what we have for you, is a short video, which hopefully will give you at least a good general overview of what Spaceling is, what it offers, and this investment opportunity of ours. Hi there, my name is Michael Sperling, Spaceling's co-founder and CEO. Welcome to my high-level pitch video, giving me the opportunity to introduce you to Spaceling. So what is Spaceling? Well, as per our tagline, Spaceling is your space where you belong. In a nutshell, Spaceling is social media as it should be, a safe and welcoming space focused on you, the user, an inclusive community which was born with you in mind, a space where you are in control of both your privacy and your data. We all know that social media is broken. It's been so for a long time, full of toxicity and fake news, with the major platforms deploying their manipulating algorithms only to monetize human attention and increase the aggressive ads revenue model, and doing so whatever the cost to users' well-being. But we at Spaceling are tackling this issue head-on, planning to fix it once and for all, with our zero-tolerance policy towards toxicity, using only user-centric algorithms and leveraging AI tech to power moderation and fact-checking, bringing social media back to the way it was always meant to be, a safe, inclusive, and welcoming space for individuals and communities to enjoy, thrive, and grow. A space where users can create posts, events, and co-blogs, or engage through our multiple feeds. They can communicate via chat, email, and even video conferencing. Users can back up their data onto our cloud storage, trade on virtual real estate and digital goods, and can even promote themselves or their businesses through digital ads. Spaceling invites users to step into a dynamic and totally immersive universe that's filled with topic-related clusters of data, each of them packed with endless exciting user-created content to be explored, or as we at Spaceling call it, our Explore feature. As for our equity holding cross-functional founding team, it's made up of seasoned entrepreneurs and subject matter experts, including 3 PhD AI specialists. Spaceling champions diversity and multiculturalism, proudly featuring over 50% women and 20% ethnic minorities, a solid team that all buy into Spaceling's ethos and concept. As for traction, we have a 3D MVP with its AI black box solution, UX UI designs and AI blueprints ready for beta version, cross-jurisdictional trademarks, and a 7,000 pre-release waitlist. Our investment grade and independently validated hybrid B2B and B2C financial model is founded on conservative OPEX, MAU and ARPU figures and comprises multiple revenue streams, including SaaS subscriptions, premium upgrades, marketplace commissions, and advertising too, altogether offering realistically attainable returns. We're looking to raise $3.8 million to secure a 15-month runway. This is based on a $17 million pre-money DCF and comps independent valuation in return for 18% equity. We had a successful pre-seed round and have real skin in the game, having heavily self-funded. Thanks ever so much for your kind attention and giving me the opportunity to introduce you to our bold and ambitious venture, Spaceling. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you just heard and will be keen to join us at Spaceling on this transformative mission to disrupt the status quo, to revolutionize and indeed shape the future of social media. and through this make a real global social impact on humanity.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Do you have anything to add before you have
not quite finished yet. Nearly.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Nearly. Firstly, thanks everyone for your attention. So just before I take questions, I'd just like to say that we have a few members of our team here today with us, including Dr. Dua Amadun. She's our Chief AI Officer and a founding team member. She's an entrepreneur, software engineer, and an AI machine learning data science consultant to industry with a PhD and master's in AI from Paris University. She's worked for large global tech giants. So if obviously any questions relating to AI, I will ask Dua to help me with that. And Dua and I now will be happy to take any questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Michael. Giovanni, would you like to start this time?
Yeah, thank you, Michael, very much. Maybe a question on your vision. Why did you decide in the beginning to build a social network instead of maybe like a product for current social networks or tolerated or non-tolerated content?
I apologize, Giovanni. I'm not quite sure what you mean.
My question was, why did you decide to build a full social network instead of a solution for existing social network that has exactly the aim of your social network? So basically, limiting the content sharing the users are doing on social networks.
Okay, well, firstly, I mean, as far as I'm aware, I mean, we know that there are some platforms that already offer some assistance to assist you, the user, when you're on other platforms. There are lots of limitations with that, but our vision is actually, if you take Blue Sky, I don't know if you're familiar with Blue Sky. It's a microblogging, basically trying to replace X, and we use them as a positive case study for us, and because what they're trying to do is they try to be a healthier, safer X. Now, they're a microblogging, they're decentralized, we are centralized, we are a comprehensive platform, but just in the same way as they're trying to replace X effectively, and they've just grown in a couple of years to 40 million users, we are trying to do the same thing with Meta because we feel that we will be leading the sphere with what we're trying to do. We're not trying to just find a solution, a plug-in solution. We're trying to find a comprehensive solution. This is a platform for both leisure and business. We'll have also, our model is a hybrid model with SaaS and market space. So it's a very broad, and ambitious, but it is, we never were interested in just some sort of a plug-in. This is a comprehensive solution. I'm not sure. I hope I answered the question. I'm not sure if I understood. I hope I did.
Anders, how about you? Do you have any question?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, intrinsically in a social network, you have the network effect, right? Which is sort of the core of the business model and to some extent the challenge for a competitor. What's your perspective on the sort of the incremental value you need to offer to a specific user in order for them to either switch to a new social network or at least add another one sort of on top of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 they already have?
Well, firstly, we have our CMO is a dual master's social media marketing strategist, and she built us a whole strategy for going to market, a whole GTM strategy. And we kicked off at this early stage with a lead generation campaign, which I think was mentioned in the video. We did just a few weeks. Only the UK market was targeted. A tiny budget. I mean, it's like ridiculously tiny budget. And we managed to get 7,000 signups nearly within just those few weeks. And it was buzzing because people are hot for it, for something to replace the toxicity. So we're very confident. We're very confident on that side. Furthermore, research has shown, and it's something that's very readily available, that the average user actually has around 7 social media platforms they subscribe to. Now, if you were, let's say you have a shoe shop on the high street, and I come and open another shoe shop, and my wife comes to buy a pair of shoes. Well, actually, in her case, you'll probably maybe go to both shops. But usually, you go to one shop to buy. If I was to go, I would go and buy one pair of shoes in one shop only. With social media, because users have multiple platforms, it's not that we need to take them away from another platform. We're just asking them to come and join our platform as an additional platform. We are very confident, especially with following the lead generation campaign that we did, these terrible problems that exist, and they've been debated in the UK Parliament and across in America and the US Senate by whistleblowers, etc. That this will not be an issue for us to gain people on board. And as I said, if we manage to, in such a short campaign with minuscule budget, to get so many people, including influencers. We have an influencer of over 700,000 sign up. We have angel investors also. We know we're on a good path here.
All right.
Right. David, anything from your side?
Yeah. So you showed where you want to be in 5 years, and then you say that the current raise will only give you 15 months runway. And it seems like you have a pretty high burn of, about $250,000 a month. Where will you be at the end of this 15 months, and what happens next? Will you have any revenue by then? And how do you plan to continue after this 15 months?
Yep, no problem. So, David, firstly, we will. It is true that we're asking now for 15-month runway. In our P&L, in our financial model, we already know that towards the end of the 15 months, we're going to raise a Series A of 12 million pounds, which is $15-16 million. Now, our P&L, our model shows that we'll be generating revenue as of year 2, and we are projecting breaking into the black, moving into the black, i.e. profitability as of year 3. So if that helps answer that part. Do you want to follow up on that, or? I mean,
what metrics would you have at the end of this 15 months in order to justify the Series A?
What metrics? Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. So
daily active users, total subscriptions, minus however you're measuring your KPIs.
Sorry, David. It's no problem. Very straightforward. Okay. So firstly, we'll be releasing MVP 1.0 as soon as we've raised seed. That will be up to initially 25,000 users. Within that period of a couple of months, we'll be releasing MVP 2.0, raising it to our KPIs 100,000 until we've completed developing the beta version, which already have UX, UI, and a big chunk of the AI already prepared for that. We will then, once that beta version is released, we'll have 250,000, growing to 250,000 for 3 months, just in order to test it. And then we have the full launch, rising to 3 million users by the end of year 2, 20 million year 3, 50 million year 4, and 100 million year 5. Now, if you bear in mind that, just for example, Blue Sky has got 40 million now after a couple of years. Year 4 by us is 50 million. Yeah. That's totally reasonable. And furthermore, when we built our model, we took years 1 through 5, the cycle of many social media platforms, going back from Facebook and on, and we built a very conservative model that's based on far lower numbers than others. So we know, again, this is a very strong model, and it's been also independently validated. So,
Thank you. Thanks so much, Michael. Great answer. Great to have you with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next company is GrowthEX. Tom, founder of the company, will share the opportunity with us. Tom, feel free to go ahead with the presentation.
Yes. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm Tom, one of the co-founders of GrowthEX. So I've been in the startup world for over 10 years, having founded a mobile order and payment app called Ordo in 2015. And whilst leading growth for this company, I read the book Hacking Growth by Sean Ellis. And this book completely changed my perception of marketing for high growth companies. It outlines how the companies like Dropbox, Airbnb, Netflix use rapid experimentation and data-driven marketing to find scalable growth. And after doing some more research, it was clear that they run hundreds of experiments each month, and many have built their own tools to handle this. So having then sold Ordo to one of our investors in 2019, my co-founder Tristan and I launched GrowthEvision to help other startup tech founders with their go-to-market strategy and execution. And we worked with about 130 companies over the last few years, and we kept seeing the same problem. So this was that founders set ambitious, seemingly unrealistic targets to investors like yourselves, and then push these down to marketing teams to deliver. And the only way we've seen this hockey stick growth occur is where there's rapid experimentation that's done effectively and aligned to a North Star metric. However, most teams lack the structure and the bandwidth to focus on the most impactful experiments. So our solution is built around this growth marketing process for high growth companies, and it's designed to increase experiment velocity across marketing teams. We've been running this manually for about 5 years using tools like Airtable and Monday.com. But we set out to build our own platform this year. And with the advent of AI, it's clear that we wanted to build a more consistent and accurate engine for experimentation, which automates the prioritization, write-up, and metric tracking, which saves our teams about 15 hours per week per team. And we've trained this model on our proprietary data set of 1,300 successful experiments, enabling customers to tap into this bank of agency knowledge and experience. And as you mentioned, Anders, this flywheel is what we really believe is the defensible moat. As the more data that we collect on the successful experiments, the better our recommendation engine gets, and the more teams that then ultimately will sign up. We've also launched our AI agent GrowthEX that's trained to help teams implement this process by sharing weekly sprint updates and shared learnings on Slack. And we've also enabled GrowthEX this month to integrate with analytics tools and update experiment metrics automatically. So ultimately, he'll also be able to run experiments, which is really exciting. So here you can see a quick GIF of the onboarding process where GrowthEX calls you to create your strategy, and the hub generates experiment ideas, and then it will ultimately write up this experiment with a hypothesis, implementation plan, and variable metric to measure success against. Heads of growth can then see across their team the experiment contributions, increase the overall velocity, and ultimately deploy these playbooks to increase the likelihood of success. So we're extremely excited about the future potential for GrowthEX, and we're aiming to be this interface between marketing experts and AI agents. We all know AI is taking over marketing, so we're investing in that future. Our vision of this is that the late majority of marketing teams will actually ultimately adopt this more rigorous experiment and data-driven process. But initial demand is coming from startups and particularly scale-ups who have these high targets and understand the power of experimentation, but lack this structure. And there's about 300,000 of these in the UK, US, and EU, but we believe about 20,000, to be obtainable in 5 years. And initially, we plan to go to market by targeting the 2,500 heads of growth at these scale-ups in Europe. And we've got a lot of experience doing this for our clients, and we'll deploy a channel mix of direct outreach with supported by content, SEO, community building, paid ads, and PR. And we're positioning GrowthEX to replace the millions of marketing managers out there that exist in these old school teams to conduct basic tasks like updating metrics, project management, content creation. So just pricing at a tenth of this cost is where we've based our initial assumptions. And we've sold 2 contracts on this price point, and 24 more discounted from our beta. So we have about 62K of invoices going out under ARR. And there have been growth marketing tools over the years, notably attempts from Growth Hackers and Growth Orange, but they've fell short and not been AI native. Our main competition, to be honest, is scale-up teams hiring a growth marketing manager to implement the process and manually updating Notion or Airtable. But they struggle to connect the analytics data and the dashboards with actual inputs from activities, and we're the only product connecting outcomes with experiment ideas structured in a way for AI. This platform is fully operational, so we've been running since April with strong experiment creation growth and weekly active usage. It's been refined in beta with successful results, and one of our clients, Musiversal, actually 10x'd their ARR this year using this process after fully signing up. And to give you a bit more information on our team, as I mentioned, Tristan and I have worked together for about 10 years or so, Ordo and now Growthdivision, which is a multi-million pound revenue agency. We've also generated hundreds of millions in revenue for our clients. And this year we've teamed up with Alex Robinson, which we're really excited about. We've been wanting to work for him for years. Alex has founded and scaled marketing technology startups like Scribeless and Vidon.ai, and brings deep expertise in AI, machine learning, and automation with a track record of building SaaS products used by SEMrush, Microsoft, and Netflix. So it's really exciting. We've had a basic hit successes in business individually, and yeah, we really want to swing for the fences with GrowthEX. I'm personally determined to build a unicorn startup. So we're raising money to get us to 500 teams in the next 18 months, and then on to 15,000 teams, and hopefully that $1 billion valuation. So as we finish our beta, we're looking to raise 750K to rapidly invest in our go-to-market strategy, which the team is ready to go, double down on our product development, and yeah. We've signed up Q Ventures, a term sheet with them for 200,000 at 3 million pre-money, and we're looking for more value-added investors to help us go to market and introduce us to the portfolio. So yeah, please do get in touch. My contact details are there. We also have a due diligence meeting next week if you want to join. Thanks.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Tom. Gonzalo, would you like to start?
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. That was great. I have one question regarding your go-to-market again. You mentioned a few times that you are initially targeting startups, but it was not clear to me if you are planning in the future to indeed attack some other spaces. And in case you are, have you started to develop that kind of relationship? The sales cycles for enterprises are quite long. So I don't know, like even if you are still targeting startups, if you are planning to attack those enterprises, if you have started to build that pipeline of relationships.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, initially our go-to-market has been focused on startups, and as I said, particularly scale-ups who are, slightly bigger, more established, have teams already and run experiments, but have a lack of structure. So we're seeing those to be our initial go-to-market early adopters, and there's about, as I said, 300,000 of those, so still a big market. But as I mentioned, the late majority will adopt this data-driven experimentation process when AI comes into play. So we expect small to medium marketing teams to be on board with this, and then ultimately enterprises. So yeah, we should get really strong initial traction through startups and scale-ups who can move quickly, but we'll ultimately look to build an enterprise pipeline too.
Okay.
Thank you. Giovanni?
Thank you, Tom. Super interesting. A question on the product. Aren't you afraid somehow that this is gonna be seen like as a feature of a project management tool or a broader CRM tool?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we've tried all the CRM tools and the project management tools ourselves. I think the thing that lacks is the knowledge base behind the scenes of what experiments work and don't work, being able to plug that into AI and connect it with the teams like across Slack. So where we really see the differentiation is through our AI agent Grex to connect with the team, share learnings across everybody, and pull in the data from all the marketing technology tools as well. So that integration with the hundreds of tools there is difficult for some of these project management tools within the context of growth marketing. So that is what people, it's a good question because that's what teams are doing at the moment, but you have to hire a marketing manager to run a project management tool at the moment.
Thank you.
David, anything from your side?
Oh, sorry about that. I was muted. Great presentation. I like a lot what you're doing, but the same concern that this seems more like a tool and a feature than a full company. So what are your plans to turn this into a real company and kind of broaden the product?
Yeah, so I think a big initiative for us this year is to build out the product in the data tracking and analytics. So being able to connect with all the marketing technology tools to infer, the experiments and make the recommendations really relevant to each company. So, that's still pretty innovative with the AI companies in the marketing technology landscape. And ultimately, then with that connection, we think Grex will be able to execute these experiments. So that's where it gets really exciting because we're replacing, some of the functions within marketing teams using AI in a much more contextualized way. So as the tooling enables us to execute more effectively, that's where the real value will become because it will save hundreds, of millions in terms of marketing team capacity. So that's going to be the big opportunity.
Thank you.
Anders, any question from your
Yeah,
side?
thanks a lot, Tom. A great presentation, as said. So two things. One is that I kind of sort of like this to some extent, sort of niche, right? That you start off with, and I'm not sort of convinced that that you need all sort of the traditional features and products to some extent in the future to drive demand. But it feels like the product already today is pretty capable. So what's your sort of 3-4 year plan or vision in terms of capabilities and new features? That's one. And then two, it's a bit interesting, right, that you're to some extent selling a tool to drive growth, and you will focus over the coming years to drive your own growth. So is there any opportunity here to sort of embed your product into your growth cycles, to sort of live the way you preach, and then to gradually get your own growth sort of to some extent autonomous, if you know what I mean, right? Because you know your own product the best.
Yeah, great question. So to tackle the first one, and actually is related to the second question, is that yeah, we really see that we've got this like unique insight as to what actually works within high growth marketing teams around data-driven experimentation, but it's very hard for teams to actually run it effectively. And at the moment, experts look at dashboards and have to kind of infer this. And if you were to approach it today as to like what actually machines would do to execute marketing, it would be set things up as an experiment with a data point that you would track as to success or not successful. And so, yeah, we really see that like when AI takes over more of marketing, our unique insight will mean that more teams adopt this. And then ultimately the AI will be able to execute this in a very data-driven and structured way. So for us, that's the sort of 2, 3, 5 year excitement here is like how much of marketing can we run under this process of data-driven experimentation. But it's not there yet. Like there are some features within marketing that can be done with AI, and we're obviously at the forefront of that. And we want to do that for ourselves to answer your second question, but it's not quite there. So we need to like layer on our expertise in the short term to execute the go-to-market, confidently. But we'll always be testing new AI agents and APIs within our own tooling and working with GrowthEX to go to market. So yeah, we're already testing some initiatives with that, and it will, very much be baked into our go-to-market plan.
All right. Thank you for all the advisory. Thank you for the presentation, Tom. And feel free to reach out, Tom, to learn more about this opportunity.
Thanks, everyone.
And now we can move to the next company. Ultra.ai. Henrik by Ultra.ai will do the presentation. Henrik.
Yes,
please
hello
do your
guys.
screen. Hello there.
Let me share my screen. Okay, welcome to Ultra.ai. So my name is Henrik. I'm the CEO and founder of Ultra. And we are building the world's first self-organizing network. And this is not a social network, it's a network economy to align people to build and shape the future. And what do I mean with that? We're creating a living network which basically organizes people together, which has the same alignment, or basically want to do something with a shared incentive. And this is very important now in the AI economy, where a lot of people will lose their jobs. So we're trying to group together professionals to kind of in a Web3 way build a community that will spin off products, companies, and various things. And we're not, messing with the chicken and egg problem here. So you can connect your entire LinkedIn network, and Ultra will build on top of that and uncovered, opportunities in your existing network and build on top of that. So we're basically turning the legacy, the static networks to life with not only advanced AI, but with AI avatars. And I will talk a little bit more about that shortly. So Ultra is comprised of 4 elements. We have a self-organizing network, which is an intelligence on its own. Every user will have an AI avatar, and you can see it as your digital clone. When you sign up an account, it will run in the background to work for you around the clock. And an AI avatar can whisper to other AI avatars in the background to discover things based on data and incentives that legacy networks cannot do. And every user will have a personal data vault where you gradually can connect your existing networks, and emails and whatever the hell you want to deploy to it, the more you connect, the smarter it gets. Your data vault is a highly secured vault, which sits on your end and your end only. So we as a network cannot access it and other users cannot access it. So your AI avatar is kind of your gatekeeper here. So it becomes kind of like a personal language model. And we also have a tokenized reward system, which I won't go into here, but we want people to get a bit of kickback for helping to grow the network in terms of tokens. So before we go into the product, I want to speak a little bit about the team here. So we have a very long experience of building machine learning companies. Me, myself, I built one of the world's first Gen AI companies over 15 years ago called Quickie with Doug here. And if you ever watched Silicon Valley on HBO, Pied Piper is a fictional depiction of that. And the team has built quite a lot of interesting companies over the year. Last one was Pods, which was one of Spotify's biggest acquisitions in 2023, which every time you listen to a podcast on Spotify, it runs on our old AI tech. Now we really want to create the vision of what is next in terms of professional networks and human connection. And by doing this, we realized that digital twins is extremely powerful, but it's kind of useless right now for users. So this is the simplest way for any user to spin off an AI clone, an AI avatar, which is fully owned by each user. So if you stop using our platform, you can always come back and reclaim your AI avatar. And we're building an API protocol, which means our AI avatar can transcend the platform. So for example, if you're creating a community, you can go beyond our platform to other sites, even virtual reality and stuff, and interact on your behalf. And let's talk about the Ultra network. So it's an intelligent network that unlocks collective value. And the network economy in its core essence is basically like a magnet which connects the right people, it organizes them, and you can create, for example, hey, I'm starting Ultra, who is passionate about building a network economy to safeguard human innovation in the AI era, and it will just basically suck people into the sub network, and we can collaborate, and we get a lot of inspiration from Web3, like I said, where it's basically community first, and then you build a product. Again, it's avatar-powered coordination. So you can give commands and incentives to AI avatar, and it will work around the clock to uncover this shared incentive. And the opportunity discovery in Ultra is unparalleled to other networks. So, for example, some of you guys have over 1,000 people on LinkedIn, and 99% of these people you won't even understand what they're doing, or you will miss opportunity. Basically, with Ultra, you will never miss opportunity. It will always remind you and drag you in that direction if you have a shared incentive. Talking a little bit more about the data vaults and how we connect existing networks. So we've been working with Microsoft to basically import your LinkedIn network, which we'll build on top of, and it's stored locally, all the data. It's encrypted in non-human bot language, and the AI avatars use a proof-of-stake approach to extract this data. So it doesn't send data, it takes snippets of data from your data vault to make informed, relevant decisions. And as the more you use the platform, and as the platform evolves, the AI avatars will be more and more intelligent. And we will also hyperscale by tapping into users' existing distribution, LinkedIn and whatever. So we can very fast reach critical mass to build a very fast-growing network. And you can see here, just this year, we're anticipating over 500,000 active users built on this rapid scaling model of converting users' existing distribution. And we'll
And
also
time is almost up, Henrik, so
Oh,
would
okay.
you mind
Sorry,
speed up?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a live product and we're evolving it this year. And also the next thing here is to involve enterprise. So you can throw in a company into the mix that will interact with professionals. And in 2027, the network will be fully sentient. We will probably not need to code more after that. So yeah, so this is Ultra. It's the world's first living network for aligned human creation, a self-evolving system that captures value no legacy platform can touch. Q&A.
Thank you so much, Henry. Great presentation. Anders, would you like to jump in?
Sure. Thanks a lot. I'm afraid I might be sort of too slow to some extent to understand it all. But what I really like here is that it feels like you have an ambition here to sort of build something from the ground up completely new.
Yeah.
But my question is, if I'm as sort of a VC, sort of average smart VC, have a bit of a challenge in sort of understanding truly how it works and how it sort of differentiates, what's your sort of elevator pitch to every sort of individual to get them to jump on and to sort of reach this 500K at the end of the year?
So as a VC, you can put your fund, whatever it's called, Founders Venture, and you will say, okay, I invest in AI companies pre-seed, seed in Europe, and you would auto aggregate companies that is a really good fit for your fund. So you can, every week when you wake up on Monday, you'll have like 10 prospects that you can look through. And if you decide to move forward, the AI can also interact, send their pitch decks and stuff. So it's like highly interactive. So every user has an AI intelligence, from day zero.
But shortly, what would sort of be the narrative or the value prop or sort of the hook to get all these 500,000 users on board?
Basically, like a self-organizing network. Let's see if I can show you here. So it will help you to expand your personal network. Let's say I'm raising money now, so it can expand my investment network and also collaborate in terms of that. And I mean, like every user will have a different network. So you have the network aspect, and then you have the network economy where if you're hiring to your fund, if you just want to gather, build a community, it's the best tool for that. So we have community building and kind of like a network building feature. And that's, I mean, it's a free product and it will be like a freemium. So since it's free to use, I think we can scale fast. And the premium feature, we believe that a lot of people is willing to pay, $9 to $19 to kind of have like a fully automated, self-evolving LinkedIn, which grows, every day, every week. Especially for people that come out of, yeah, sorry.
It's a bit like that sort of Boardy product, right? You're sort of your AI agent or your AI network expansion agent to some extent.
Yeah, like so you don't basically see this digital twins that runs the network. Everything is in the back end. So it's just like a nice user experience. It's kind of like, LinkedIn, what it would look in, 10 years, modern platform where you can, explore your network as a graph. You can tell the AI avatar what you need to do, what's happening in your life. Professionally and with your company, and it will just expand towards those goals. And then, like I said, you can create these sub networks saying, hey, I want to build an AI news app. Who's interested? And so finding AI talent, finding co-founders, stuff like that will be a little bit easier. It really helps to find this culture, people that have the same vision as you on a global scale. And we believe that it's very vital also moving forward when there's going to be huge unemployment coming forward in the West and globally.
Yeah, definitely. Giovanni, anything from your side?
Thank you very much for the presentation. I was wondering why did you decide on LinkedIn / the career side as a first point to build these avatars? Why not something else?
It doesn't matter. We can connect anything. Like whatever network you have, we can onboard it into our graph databases. So we're building like a very unique graph database system, which we're working with Neo4j, the CDO. It's kind of like technology which is not released to common people yet, and this will just take network effects to the next curve. So we can, I mean, whatever you use, is it Telegram, is it WhatsApp, is it LinkedIn? We can even connect investor networks, Web Summit, whatever the hell, we create this kind of sub networks, and it helps to basically build an ecosystem.
If I can follow up on that, in my opinion, was not a, let's say, bad decision to be specific on a need or very very specific need in the beginning, because it might make you faster to build the product. It was just my comprehension that was for careers and LinkedIn, but if it's not the case, no worries.
LinkedIn for us, like we calculate, it would be the fastest kind of legacy platform for us to build 1 million users. So they imported a LinkedIn network, we build on top of that, and these LinkedIn users are gradually converted into Ultra users with their consent, of course. So it's just one of the plays to hyperscale.
Thank you.
All right, maybe we can have a very short question. Gonzalo, anything to
Yeah,
your side?
sure. So my question is not that much on the product, but more on the team itself. You were mentioning to build one of the first GenAI companies, also that some of the co-founder created the startup that got one of the biggest exits in 2023, if I'm not wrong.
No, it was one of Spotify's most important hire. It kind of started their podcast department.
Right. And could you provide further detail regarding your GenAI company? And also, are the VCs that were supporting you with that company supporting you in this new venture?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we need very short answer for that, Henrik, by the way. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
So I didn't fully understand the question, but if you want any more information, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to take a more detailed meeting where you can understand the product and who is supporting us and all that. So we're raising a pre-seed now.
Yeah, no, it was more on the exit. If you could provide further details on how did the exit look like?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So exit on Pods was a bidding war between Twitter and Spotify, and Quickie was acquired by Yahoo.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much, Henrik. Great presentation. Thank you for being with us today.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Next company is Radivision. Mona will share the opportunity with us.
Stop sharing here now.
Yes, and Mona, you can start when you are ready.
I am ready. I'm happy to be here.
Right.
Good morning, everybody. So at the very end of 2025, in just 3 weeks, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Charles Schwab spent nearly $2 billion acquiring private market platforms. What none of them bought, because it's being commercialized right now, is the infrastructure that those acquisitions and others can use to reach and activate the hundreds of millions of retail investors now eligible to participate in private and IPO markets. That's what Radivision is building. I'm Mona Defraui, and I've done this before. In 2009, I built the first private market platform, Inside Venture. That platform is now the standalone NASDAQ private market, valued at over $1 billion, with investments from Goldman, Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, Barclays, and a dozen other top financial institutions. That was the institutional solution. Now Radivision is the retail solution for a market that's 15 times larger. 2025 changed everything. The White House, Congress, and the SEC enacted the most significant expansion of retail access to private markets in many generations, with more coming in 2025. This has unlocked a $23 trillion global opportunity, and that's the SAM, not the TAM. The TAM is 180 billion. Trillion, excuse me, trillion with a T. But this capital needs an activation engine, someone to educate investors, capture intent, and route them compliantly to the transaction partners who are limited by SEC regulations and communications compliance from doing this at scale and at AI speed. Banks can't do this, social platforms can't do it compliantly. That's the gap Radivision fills to support everyone in the ecosystem, so all the parties on the right will be our customers. Radivision is an AI-powered social platform operating on the media side of the regulatory firewall, leveraging AI and media technology to scale to hundreds of millions of users. Angel Wallet is our new mobile app facilitating deal discovery, long-term engagement, and future portfolio tracking. Pitch Planet lets startups tell their stories with viewers as the sharks or angels in our case, and it generates SaaS revenue. Our platform already hosts over 50,000 content assets, and soon we'll launch our Angel IQ Investor Education Initiative. So Radivision engages, educates, and captures the behavioral intent, and then routes these qualified leads to the customer. So you can see here in this slide, on the blue side is the media side. You have the SEC firewall, which is the white side, and all of the parties on our right are not competitors. We're not a crowdfunding platform. We're a media, a social AI platform. These are all our customers on the right-hand side. We refer the deals, and our AI can qualify, match, and aggregate retail investors into larger capital pools. And now that are, large enough size to get into more interesting deals, higher ROI deals, provide liquidity, and really transform the industry. And Radivision gets paid for the referrals, just like Credit Karma or even ESPN with sports betting from DraftKings. It's a model that's tried and true in many multi-billion-dollar companies. And we just signed our first revenue partnership agreement today with the leading self-directed IRA custodian who owns 20% of that market. And we will get paid referral and annual revenue fees as an annual renewal fees as an annuity also to the initial sale. So we have a dual engine revenue flywheel. The SaaS creates the content, content drives engagement, engagement reveals intent, and then intent monetizes through the referrals. So we have the potential to drive millions in monthly recurring revenues very early due to our scale and based also on our beta tests. So these numbers are derived from our actual beta test results, but we're projecting only 6 million in SaaS and referral revenue for 2025. And a little bit extra for sponsorships. Most of the 530,000 in pre-seed sales value has actually come from sponsors, from corporate sponsors that aren't even part of that model. But we've been iterating the product betas and validating towards these revenue projections for some years now, and we've delivered a 14% click-through rate, which is about 5 times the industry average of 1 to 3%. And some of you may be aware that last month, Andreessen Horowitz launched their own media initiative, stating that storytelling infrastructure is essential for startups and fundraising, basically validating our core business model. But Andreessen serves only their 1,000 portfolio companies. Radivision serves the other 750,000 startups needing this support. We have a big launch plan, similar to launches I've done with 2 previous companies, which were acquired. On our leadership team combines over 100 years of experience across capital markets, AI, compliance, and consumer marketing, with backgrounds from Microsoft, Bank of America, WWE, Revlon, and others with multiple successful exits. I've also helped execute 4 IPOs previously and manage their IR, PR, and corp dev over 10 years straight. We have an incredibly talented team of advisors that sadly I don't have time to tell you about. And we are currently raising a $50 million round to launch this spring, grow the team, and launch the Angel Wallet and Angel IQ Education Initiative. A strategic M&A at $1 billion within 24 months is credible based on the current comps of 8 to 10x for mature companies like the ones that were just purchased. We will be in a higher growth state. 17 years ago, I built the infrastructure that unlocked institutional private markets. Today, Radivision is the infrastructure to unlock 23 trillion in new retail capital for the innovation and global economies that need what we're building. We're the missing piece. Thank you.
Thanks
And
so
we also
much.
have a small angel piece left in the old note if anyone is interested in that. And that can be a 20x conversion or potentially a 2 to 3x immediate tender offer. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Mona. Anders, would you like to start?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mona. It's a lot to love very clearly, but and not the least the pace and the narrative, right? So very impressive. A completely different note. What would you sort of say could potentially be your biggest blocker or challenge of the coming 24, 36 months?
Well, we've projected a very high rate of growth. So I think hiring people, having the funds to do that, is important for that. But really, it's a matter of execution at this point. I think we have the talent. We've been iterating long enough, and we figured out the right product mix. We feel very confident about our products. So we're ready to go, but it's just a matter of how quickly can we hire and get everybody on board and get out there.
All right.
The
Not that
market's
word,
flat.
it seems about sort of competition or the demand side. It's more or less purely in your own hands to some extent, and maybe some capital on top of that.
Exactly. And we have a really, really good team right now that's come together. Our CFO, COO has been involved with us, and she's an angel investor. She's advised me for 4 years on our advisory board. We have a 5-year relationship. So the right people are coming together right now. We just need the right investment partner really to get us there. And the market needs us desperately now at this point. It's pretty obvious. I've been building this for almost 9 years. And so people thought I was crazy 9 years ago. The private markets created so much liquidity, which was my mission. But it was only temporary liquidity. You can't have a healthy private market without a healthy public market, which is why I include IPOs in there. That's been my mission for 17 years. And we will get there. I cut my teeth on IPOs from 1991. This is the market I know well. It used to be 3 to 5 years. Half of my shareholders were retail. Retail's been cut out for 25 years. That's why there's such a, uneven, inequitable access, in the markets, which is creating a lot of the political, geopolitical stuff that's going on right now. So this really will help everybody wins. The VCs win, the retail investors win, the economy wins, everybody wins, and the broker dealers and the RIAs also win in this model.
Yeah, agree. It's a massive problem. All right, thanks.
My pleasure. Thank you for the question.
Gonzalo?
Yeah, well, first, thank you. Quite innovative approach. First time seeing something like this, so thank you. I had one question though on the value proposition. We are seeing lately that beyond cash, top-tier startups demand tangible value from VCs. For instance, as Plug and Play, we support in the business development. Some other VCs support with the recruiting duties and so on. How are individual investors going to bring their value to convince the founders to accept their checks?
How are the individual investors going to bring the value?
To bring their value to convince the top-tier founders to accept their checks?
Yeah, well, I think the individual investors are going to come through BDs. Like our goal is to refer, these investors. We're here to educate them and get them ready. So one of the pieces of legislation is the new accredited investor exam that is hopefully will pass very soon through the Senate. And once that comes out, now everybody can come up to an accredited level. And our goal is to qualify and match these investors and also aggregate them and bring them in. So the startup decides where to send them. They can send them to their BD, they can send them to a crowdfunding platform, they can take them themselves and just build the community and develop a relationship with them over time. It's a matter, I don't think the individual investor is going to be convincing. I think it's a matter of integrating them, right? So my goal is to integrate retail into every single round that's done, whether it's a VC fundraise, whether it's an IPO. It used to be 20% of every IPO was retail. And usually with these investors, especially if they're in an SPV, they're not vocal and active and in the sense of managing the board or anything like that. They're usually a passive investor, and my goal is to integrate them with the smart guys in the room, the big boys in the room who validate price and protect the small investors, as opposed to crowdfunding, which leaves them 100% exposed.
Yeah, my concern was more on the founder perspective. What is the founder getting from an individual investor that they are not getting from VCs?
Oh, I see. Thank you so much for that. So the individual investor is very different. They're more emotional. They're going to believe in the company. They get excited, right? They watch Shark Tank. We've seen this, 15 season phenomenon. People get excited. Millions of dollars of products are sold overnight. The one thing the audience can't do is click to invest. Now they can on Pitch Planet. And these investors will share it with their friends. They'll be showing everybody what's in your angel wallet. This is what I'm doing. I'm curing cancer. I'm fixing the housing problem. I'm creating wealth access, and I'm growing my portfolio. I've now taken 5 or 10 or 20% of my 401k, whatever's allowed, whatever their advisor tells them is good for them, and moves it over to their self-directed IRA, or they can do direct investment also just off their balance sheet, and they're coming in and they're active and interested in social. So they're going to share it with their friends. They're going to tell everybody about it, and they're going to keep coming back. And they can be customers, they can be employees. I mean, this is a marketing vehicle for the companies. And by the way, I did pitch twice at Plug and Play in Silicon Valley, and we actually won in one of the competitions that you all had for the summer interns for the colleges. So I represented Duke University. So I love Plug and Play. And in fact, we filmed Saeed Amidi. He's in episode 2 of Driven, which is our carpool karaoke for entrepreneurs. So there's a lot of fun factor in what we do, just like Shark Tank, but we want to leverage the power of media for Shark Tank now, and scale it with education and referrals to the professionals in the room who can manage compliantly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Giovanni, anything to add from your side?
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. I have a feeling that this might be a lemon market, know what you get. So why, and it's similar to Gonzalo fear, I think. Why a good startup should fundraise to private individuals if they can fundraise from Anderson Horowitz?
Okay, well, I'll explain, because only 0.05% of all startups seeking venture capital actually raise. So 99.95% of all startups fail to raise. And the VCs will say, oh, they aren't high quality enough. But I beg to differ. I think there's a lot of good apples, that are getting thrown out. It's been difficult. I'm a fundraising expert. I've raised billions. I raised a $500 million fund in 6 months. It has been challenging for me to raise money for Radivision. We were way ahead of our time. So there's 99.5% good reasons why startups will do this. Startups are pretty desperate to fundraise. As we know, there's been an implosion in the venture industry. There's a liquidity crisis. A lot of people haven't raised. There's a lot of VC funds that haven't executed a deal in over 2 years. So people need this capital. Plus, in addition to it, the most important thing is IPOs haven't worked in 25 years. This is why NEA, the founding partner, asked me to come and fix the IPO crisis to Silicon Valley back in 2007. And I did. I built the private markets, and it got things going. I didn't get to finish it. So it hit a brick wall, a couple of years ago, because you can't just keep growing unicorns and fattening them up and never taking them public. There is no smooth transition from private to public ownership. So when the economy got dislocated, all those high unicorn valuations, they tanked. And the few companies that have gone public have gone out at 1/3 to 25% of their unicorn valuations. So a lot of people are stuck with overpriced paper that is illiquid.
Yeah.
They feel they can't go public. So you want those retail investors in, because they will also transition you. They are the public in the IPO. They're the P, they're the public. And that's the most important piece of this. Half of my shareholder base at 3 to 4 years after founding used to be the public, retail investors. So it's not a new thing. Everybody thinks that companies stay private because they can, and they're making this choice. A lot of them are doing it because they feel they won't have a good result publicly, and if they can still sell on the secondary markets at a higher price, it's a hot potato game. So let's see who's got stuck with the hot potato at the end of the game. There's a lot of hot potatoes out there that are just sitting still. And so we're here
Definitely.
to activate, and educate people so we don't gouge everybody's 401ks like we did the housing market back in the 2000s.
All right. Thanks so much, Mona.
Thank you.
Great pitch. And let's move to the final presentation, final pitch, 6AI by Karim. Karim, feel free to share your screen and watch the presentation.
I do this without presentation, thanks.
Okay, sure.
Today's AI is not intelligent. And today's AI is not reliable. This is a multi-trillion market opportunity, or market pain, if you wish. We have solved this problem. The thing is, today's paradigm in AI is more compute, more data, larger models with trillions of parameters. Unfortunately, this is a dead end. It's an off-ramp, and this will never lead to true intelligence, artificial general intelligence, or superintelligence. We have a different solution, an AI that learns like a child, an AI that learns by interaction with the real world or with the synthetic world, and builds a structured word model, a prerequisite for real world understanding. And this is what, for example, Jan LeCun is talking about, and also Nobel Prize laureate Hinton. We have solved this problem. Our technology is not a large language model. It's not based on reinforcement learning. It's a new proprietary AI without any prior art, built by some of the best engineers in the world. On our track record, we have MySQL, a word de facto standard open source database acquired by Oracle. We also have on our track record JRocket, a virtual Java machine running on 20 million servers worldwide, also acquired by Oracle. Now we're on a mission to build artificial superintelligence. We already have a first version of a slice of our AI stack in commercial operation at Nowaste Logistics in Helsingborg in Sweden. And this is where I am right now. We have the client meeting today. The problem we're solving is automation, the same type of problem that's addressed by humanoid robots today, for example. We are delivering physical AGI. We will definitely have it in the end of this year. So far, automation can be described in 3 dimensions: scalability, robustness, and flexibility. Traditional robots excel in scalability and robustness. One industrial robot can run 100,000 hours without fail. Traditional robots are super scalable. The same robot in a different country with the same program will do the same job. But robots are not flexible. They're more flexible than the machine, since you can program them. But once at work, they don't learn, they cannot adapt. Adding AI to the equation adds flexibility. But today, it's always at the expense of robustness due to hallucinations, and scalability due to a lot of training data to make the AI work. And actually, the AI at work in industry today is not pure AI. It's actually a hybrid between AI and legacy code, where the programming code is used to handle special cases, to put up guardrails, and add a lot of human heuristics, which makes this less scalable and not so cost efficient. The AI we have right now is handling a complex environment with high variability, where no other solutions work. We're picking items with 99.8% accuracy. The training cost for our AI is virtually zero. The business model is AI software as a service. We have one AI, one and the same AI that can control any type of robot. We made integrations to the large industrial robots like KUKA Robotics, ABB, Yaskawa, and Fanuc. And our product, if you want to simplify it, is a universal AI or AGI robot brain. And it trains by itself. It learns on the job. every task it's performing, it's training data. So the AI controlling industrial robot today is better today than it was yesterday, and will be even better tomorrow because it learns from feedback. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Karim. Giovanni, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you, Karim. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on the current status of the solution you are developing? Like, where are you in the roadmap?
Yeah, so right now in roadmap, we are on the commercial side, we are doing pilot projects. We have just won a new pilot customer, PostNord, which is the largest third-party logistics company in Sweden. They had thrown out all the other robot companies, all other AI companies, and they said that the solution that we have presented and the way we're working is very, very different from all the others. They have a very, very challenging environment with 70,000 different type of products, from a milligram plastic details to kilogram objects of different sizes, different shapes, different materials. And this is impossible for everybody else in the world to handle. If you look at the market, 80% of all warehouses have no automation. 5% have some sophisticated automation, and the rest have like AutoStore or something like that. So this, and only the third-party logistics market has a value between $1 and $2 trillion. So we are in the pilot phase. We're building solutions for pilot customers. The next phase in the go-to-market strategy is to scale through integrators or directly with AutoStore, or bundle our AI with large robot OEMs. And we have a close cooperation with KUKA Robotic Nordic. So this is on the commercial side. On the technology side, we will have our first, I'll say, full stack end-to-end implementation, very crude implementation of the full of the AGI part of our architecture. In the end of the year, we will definitely have AGI. With AGI, we mean two things. One is continual learning, something that learns close to online. We already have part of that today, but we have that's mostly sophisticated. The other part is true reasoning, complex many-step reasoning in a stable way, and not this type of parroting and guessing that you have today. We have the architecture ready for this. We just need the resources to build it. We have proof of concept of part of it already, and as I said, part of this architecture is in commercial operation, and it performs like with 99.8% accuracy. And I can add, we're picking, it's a warehouse with 20,000 different products, 2,000 new products are added every month. We're handling this variability, we're handling this robustness and precision with a training cost that's close to zero. So it's a complete disrupt of automation, and we are beyond our competitors like Skilled AI in the United States, like Figure and all this. We are on a different level, and we're just 10 of us in the team, but we have some of the best of the best of the best, and we're using AI in our development. So the AI adds like a factor 10 to 20 to every developer, and the developers are like 20 to 50 times more productive than an average developer. So our team of 10 people corresponds to maybe 2,000 people, average developers.
All right, Gonzalo.
Yeah. I completely agree that this is a massive space. But I would love to understand, and indeed, our probably most active startup within our ecosystem is precisely in the physical AI space as well, Archetype. You might be familiar with them, but I would love to understand within all of the potential use cases. You are mentioning warehousing, but how are you planning to expand towards like other use cases like mobility, supply chain, industrial use cases, and so on?
Yeah, to understand, to answer this question high level, intelligence is actually about navigation. Navigation, if you think about navigation is planning. Navigation is reasoning. Navigation is simulation. Navigation is prediction. If you properly solve the problem of navigation, you have basic intelligence. And this basic problem cannot be solved with large language models. Why? Because the prerequisite, the necessary condition for navigation is you need a map. You need a structured word model. You need to know where you are in the world, where the rest of the objects are, the relation between your objects. You need a model of basic physics and so forth. And this type of structured word model is mathematically impossible to get with today's large language models. What we have a new type of mathematical representation that's more structure preserving. And this enables us to solve this problem of navigation. If you have solved it, then you can master the world. You can master the physical world. You have real world AI. And grasping an object, moving an object from A to B, seems like a very mundane task to do. But considering all type of different objects, all type of different shapes, all type of different materials, all type of environmental variations, in order to solve this problem, pick and place, in the general case, you need to solve the navigation problem. You need to have physical AGI, not physical AI. And this is what we have solved. And if you think of more complex tasks, for example, industrial assembly, today 72% of all industrial assembly is still manual because it's a too complex and unstructured environment. But industrial assembly is at its foundation, pick and place. You pick an object, you place it somewhere, but you have a more advanced placement. You may need two hands than one hand. And again, if you have solved pick and place, you also have solved mobility for robots, because moving a bag is the same problem as moving the robot.
Yeah, well, I understand how horizontal it is from the technical perspective. It was more on the commercial side of things. So where are you trying to get that initial traction that will let you raise the proper rounds for being able to scale the solution?
Yeah, a very good question. Thank you for that question. So we're in the space of pick and place. Pick and place, we have narrowed down from industry to from industry in general to warehouse logistics. From warehouse logistics to something that's called automatic storage and retrieval systems like AutoStore, which is a de facto standard with 2,000 installations all around the world. Since we have 80-90% of all warehouses have no automation, this is virgin land. There are infinitely many possibilities to do good projects. In order to scale, we're starting with pilot projects to demonstrate functionality and demonstrate the business model. The business model is very simple. We have a fixed monthly fee and then a fee per value added work. That's either per hour or per piece. And then we move backward in the value chain from the warehouse logistics customers to the integrators who are building these automation systems. Like AutoStore. So we have Swisslog, we have Element Logic, we have Schaefer and some others. And then we can move all the way back to AutoStore and make a deal with AutoStore, where we present a picking port with our AI and KUKA robotics robots. And then we can move all the way back when we have proved ourselves. We can do a deal directly with KUKA robotics and offer our AI bundled with the robots. So this is the go-to-market. Is start with pilot customers, move to integrators, move to ASRS system manufacturers, and then all the way to industrial robots. And the AI we're developing, we can control humanoid robots, industrial robots, boring traditional industrial robots, and put an AMR, and then we have mobility, and we can solve the same type of problems as humanoid robots are designed to do. In our view, there's nothing magical with humanoids. You need mobility. You need the hand is a perfect tool for many things, but like we're using tools. This differentiates us from the apes. And a tool changer can be much more efficient actually than a hand. And this is standard industrial equipment today. So the platform for general purpose robotics exists today. The missing link is physical AGI, and this is what we're providing.
Okay. Anders, anything to add from your side? Maybe comments if you don't have any question.
So super short. Thanks a lot. I mean, it sounds super exciting, but I guess you get some attention in your meetings if you, to some extent, say that the LLMs is a dead end and that you guys will have AGI at the end of the year. What is typically sort of the hardest question you get when you meet customers or VCs with that sort of intro?
And Karim, we will need very short answer for that.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll say goodbye.
The hardest question is how does it work? And the short answer we have to that we have been in the due diligence process with the European Investment Bank, with a professor from ex-NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, who has looked at our technology. And the second answer to that question, it actually works in commercial operation. So,
yeah, that I can really see. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right then. Thanks so much, Karim, for the
Thank you very
final
much.
presentation. Thank you for the advisory board, Giovanni, Anders, Gonzalo, David for your contribution. Thank you all the presenters for the pitches. Thank you everyone staying with us until the end of this event. Yeah, and we are organizing AI Pitch Challenge in, I guess, April. We will be announcing them early next week. So I hope it will be as good as this one. Thanks so much, everyone. See you again at our future events.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.